Hargeisa. Hargeisa hər-GAY-sa, Somali Hargeisa, Arabic Hargeisa is a city in the Maroodi Jeex region of Somaliland in the Horn of Africa. It is the capital and largest city of Somaliland. It succeeded Berbera as the capital of the British Somaliland Protectorate in 1941. The city also served as the second capital of the Isaaq Sultanate during the mid to late 19th century. Hargeisa was founded as a watering and trading stop between the coast and the interior and later became an Islamic Tariqa settlement under the leadership of Sheikh Madar and his mullahs. The city later succeeded Berbera as the capital of the British Somaliland Protectorate in 1941. In 1960, the Protectorate gained independence and united as scheduled days later with the Trust Territory of Somaliland, former Italian Somaliland, to form the Somali Republic on July 1. Hargeisa is situated in a valley in the Galgodon highlands and sits at an elevation of 1334 m 4,377 ft. Home to rock art from the Neolithic period, the city is also a commercial hub for precious stone cutting, construction, retail services, and trading, among other activities. Etymology. The town evolved in the latter half of the 1800s as a Qadiriyya settlement established by Sheikh Madar, near a water stop used by nomadic stock herders on the way to the town of Harar. It proposes a possible derivation of the name Hargeisa from the sobriquet Harar es Sagir, meaning Harar the Little. According to historian Norman Bennett, Madar named the settlement Hargeisa or Little Harar since he aspired for it to emulate the city of Harar as a center for Islamic teachings. Another etymological root for Hargeisa's name derives from the town's connection to the skins trade. Hargeisa has been a watering and trading stop between the coast and the interior, and chief amongst the goods traded were the hide skins procured from the interior to be processed in the settlement. In this etymological version, Hargeisa is derived from Hargeisa, which means place to sell hides and skins in Somali. History. Prehistory. Numerous cave paintings from the Neolithic period are found in the Jsa Taxi complex on the outskirts of Hargeisa. During November and December 2002, an archaeological survey was carried out in the area by a French team of researchers. The expedition's objective was to search for rock shelters and caves containing stratified archaeological infills capable of documenting the period when production economy appeared in this part of Somaliland circa 5th and 2nd millennium BCE. During the course of the survey, the French archaeological team discovered the Jsa Taxi rock art, encompassing an area of 10 rock alcoves caves. In an excellent state of preservation, the paintings show human figures with their hands raised and facing long-horned, humpless cattle. The rock art had been known to the area's inhabitants for centuries before the French discovery. However, the existence of the site had not been broadcast to the international community. In November 2003, a mission returned to Jsa Taxi, and a team of experts undertook a detailed study of the paintings and their prehistoric context. Somaliland generally is home to numerous such archaeological sites with similar rock art and or ancient edifices such as the Dambalin rock art. However, many of these old structures have yet to be properly explored, a process which would help shed further light on local history and facilitate their preservation for posterity. The Big Commune and Sheikh Madar. According to traditional poetic Gabe oral accounts, Hargeisa was founded by the Idagale clan as a watering and trading stop for passing nomads and caravans. It is also believed that in addition to the Idagale, the Arab and Haber-Yunis subclans were also amongst the early settlers of Hargeisa. Hargeisa continued to grow with the arrival of Sheikh Madar Shirwa, widely considered to be the founder of Hargeisa religious commune and the modern iteration of the settlement. Madar Shirwa was born in Berbera and belonged to the Ismail subdivision of the Sad Musa Haber Awal clan. Madar arrived in Harar to study the Islamic sciences under the top ulama of Harar, which consisted of Harari and Somali scholars. Sheikh Khalil, one of the ulama of Harar, advised Sheikh Madar to establish a Qadiriya Tariqa commune in present-day Hargeisa and spread the teachings he was taught, which lead Sheikh Madar and his companions to found the big commune Jama Wayne of Little Harar Hargeisa, circa 1860. Somali pastoralists heavily follow rain and pastures. This would change with the agricultural and stationary lifestyle Madar would introduce on the back of large sorghum plantations. This was to maintain self-sufficiency, and Sheikh Madar and the other mullahs would take care of the sick and elderly inhabitants of the growing settlement. Lastly, Sheikh Madar pushed towards a common religious identity rather than identifying solely by tribe. Stone houses and other structures would be built, and Hargeisa would develop into a large permanent settlement irrespective of the caravan trade that defined it in decades prior. H. Swain, a British soldier and explorer who traversed the Somali peninsula between the 1880–1890s, wrote about Hargeisa in his journals. This town is built some 500 yards from the right bank of the Ilayadara Nala and at an elevation of 30 or 40 feet above it. Round the place is a patch of Jowari sorghum cultivation, 2.5 miles long and 1/4 mile broad. Quantities of livestock of all kinds graze on the low undulating hills for half a mile from the Ilayadara Nala on either bank. Hargeisa is situated on two important caravan routes, one from Ogaden and the other from Harar. There are good direct camel roads to Berbera and Bulhar. Supplies of rice, tobacco, and dates can sometimes be bought here in the trading season. Some 400 people are employed looking after the Jowari fields, and may be seen sitting on platforms, shouting and throwing stones to scare birds from the crops. There is abundance of good water in the bed of the river, and a masonry well has been built, and is kept in order by an Arab from Aden. The town is full of blind and lame people. British Somaliland. In 1888, after signing successive treaties with the then-ruling Somali sultans and chiefs, the British established a protectorate in the region referred to as British Somaliland, with Berbera becoming the capital. The British garrisoned the protectorate from Aden in present-day Yemen and administered it from their British India until 1898. British Somaliland was then administered by the Foreign Office until 1905 and afterwards by the Colonial Office. The capital was moved from Berbera to Hargeisa, and the city was granted capital status in 1941. During the East African Campaign, the protectorate was occupied by Italy in August 1940, but recaptured by the British in March 1941. In 1945, the British administration had grown weary of the influence Waddads had wielded in the protectorate and moved to arrest several in Hargeisa. They had been deemed nuisances to implementing modern education and agricultural reforms in Somaliland. Following their arrests on June 4th, a mob formed and temporarily freed the imprisoned Waddads, who were recaptured the next day. Religious leaders motivated the city's inhabitants, and a crowd of several thousand rioters marched on the Hargeisa district headquarters, determined to free the imprisoned Waddads. They were fired upon by the district commissioner's troops, with one dying and dozens imprisoned for trying to free the sheikhs. The protectorate gained its independence on 26 June 1960 as the State of Somaliland, before uniting as planned days later with the Trust Territory of Somaliland, the former Italian Somaliland, to form the Somali Republic. 1960–1991. In the post-independence period, Hargeisa was administered as the capital of the Waqooyi Galbeed province of Somalia. Numerous new development projects were subsequently launched in the city by the Somali government. Among these initiatives was the creation of the Hargeisa Provincial Museum. It was the first museum to be established in Somalia since independence in 1960. The Hargeisa International Airport was also renovated and modernized, with the ultimate aim of equipping the facility to accommodate larger aircraft and offer more flight destinations. Hargeisa Campaign Hargeisa Holocaust. Dictator Syed Barre's response to the S&M attacks was of unparalleled brutality, with explicit aims of handling the Isaaq problem. He ordered the shelling and aerial bombardment of the major cities in the northwest and the systematic destruction of Isaaq dwellings, settlements, and water points. The Syed Barre regime targeted civilian members of the Isaaq group specifically, especially in the cities of Hargeisa and Burko, and to that end employed the use of indiscriminate artillery shelling and aerial bombardment against civilian populations belonging to the Isaaq clan. Reconstruction. After the collapse of the Somali central government and the unilateral declaration of independence of the Republic of Somaliland, a slow process of infrastructural reconstruction subsequently began in Hargeisa and other towns in the country. Since 1991, Hargeisa has undergone a large-scale facelift. The renovations have been largely financed by local entrepreneurs, as well as Somali expatriates sending remittance funds to relatives in the region through some of the various Somali-owned money transfer operators. Most of the destroyed residential and commercial buildings have since been reconstructed, with many newer structures erected. Single-story buildings downtown are also progressively giving way to multi-story high-rises. Geography. Location and habitat. Hargeisa is located in a mountainous area in an enclosed valley of the northwestern Galgodon Ogo highlands. It sits at an elevation of 1,334 meters, 4,377 feet above sea level. The city used to be surrounded by forest when it was smaller in size, but the countryside around it still has small junipers. Near Hargeisa are the fertile Sheikh and Dalo Mountains, which receive large amounts of rain. South of the city is the Haud Savanna Balagubadal, which attracts many different species of wildlife to graze in the area. Hargeisa is situated near the town of Gabaili, which serves as an agricultural center in Somaliland. That town's Alay Bade area produces tons of tomatoes and onions each month during the rainy season. The town of Arabsio is also located nearby and is noted for its lemon production. Due to its relative fertility and greenery, wild animals come to the Hargeisa area to either breed or graze on the grassland savanna. Fauna that can be found in rural sections of the city include the kudu, wild boars, Somali wild ass warthogs, antelopes, Somali sheep, goats, camels, and many different types of birds. There are also a number of both public and private menageries. South of Hargeisa is a grassland savanna which attracts many types of wildlife to the area, including lions and leopards. Climate. Hargeisa has a semi-arid climate Köppen BSH. The city generally features warm winters and hot summers. However, despite its location in the tropics, due to the high altitude, Hargeisa seldom experiences either very hot or very cold weather. This is a trait rarely seen in regions with a semi-arid climates. The city receives the bulk of its precipitation between the months of April and September, averaging just under 400 millimeters 16 in of rainfall annually. Average monthly temperatures in Hargeisa range from 18°C 64°F in the months of December and January to 24°C 75°F in the month of June. Administration. Situated in the Maroodi Jeex region of Somaliland, Hargeisa is the seat of the regional parliament, the presidential palace, and government ministries. The municipal administration is led by Abdurrahman Mahmoud Adiad Soltelko. A member of the Peace, Unity, and Development Party Kulmii, the ruling political association in the region, he was elected mayor on 14 April 2013 by a quorum of 24 city councillors. Districts. The Hargeisa municipality is divided into 6 districts which contain sub-districts. Demographics. The capital city is mainly populated by members of the Sakad Mayus subclans of the Habar-Awal, the Idagale subclans of the Garhajis, along with the Ayub and Arab subclans, all belonging to the wider Isaaq clan. In 2005, according to the the city had a population of 560,028. As of 2019, it is estimated that Hargeisa has a population of 1.2 million. The urban area occupies 75 square kilometers, 29 sq mi, with a population density of 12,600 inhabitants per square kilometer, 33,000/sq mi. Economy. Hargeisa is the financial hub to many entrepreneurial industries ranging from finance, retail, imports/export warehouses to gem cutters, construction, food processing, textiles, and livestock trading. In June 2012, the Partnership Fund for the Private Sector in Somaliland was launched at Hargeisa's Ambassador Hotel. Part of the larger Partnership for Economic Growth program, the initiative will see $900,000 USD allocated to 13 private local businesses, as well as the creation of 250 new full-time jobs, half of which are to be earmarked for youth and 1/3 for women. The fund is expected to improve job opportunities for 1,300 entrepreneurs through ameliorated product distribution and investment in new technologies and processing facilities. Eligibility is determined through a competitive and transparent selection process overseen by the Partnership Program, the Somaliland Chamber of Commerce, and government officials. Transportation. Buses are the most commonly used form of public transportation in Hargeisa. They travel on a number of routes serving nearly all of the city's districts. Intercity bus services are also available, which connect Hargeisa to other major cities and towns across Somaliland, including Burao, Berbera, and Barama. With the growth of urban development, several new taxi companies have sprung up in Hargeisa. Jsa Taxi is another of the recent taxi firms based in Hargeisa. Has a fleet of 4 small compact cars and 7 passenger minivans, in addition to around 19 other vehicles. GPS devices installed by the Sahel technology firm allow the cab company's dispatch office to monitor its taxis to ensure that they travel within the speed limit. The office can also disable the vehicles online in the event of theft. Other new taxi firms serving Hargeisa include Jsa Taxi and Maroodi Jeex Taxi. Fares are inexpensive, costing between 15,000 and 18,000 Somaliland shillings, $2–3 USD per ride. The US dollar is also widely accepted alongside the local currency. International Airport. For air transportation, the city is served by the Hargeisa International Airport. The Somali-owned private carriers Dalo Airlines and Juba Airways offer domestic flights from the facility to various other towns in neighboring Somalia, such as Mogadishu, Bosaso, and Galkayo. Trips to international destinations are also available, including to Djibouti and Dubai. It has recently gained more airlines such as Ethiopian Airlines and Fly Dubai. Education. Various primary schools and nurseries are dispersed throughout Hargeisa. There are also several state-run and privately owned secondary and high schools in the city. Among these are the SOS Sheikh Secondary School and Abarso School of Science and Technology, the latter of which is the preeminent secondary institution in the area. Abarso School is located about 13 km 8 mi west of Hargeisa. In terms of post-secondary education, The city is home to a number of colleges and universities. The main institutions of higher learning include the University of Hargeisa, Admaz University College, Somaliland University of Technology, Galis University, New Generation University, Hope University, and Maroodi International University. Additionally, the Edna Dan Maternity Hospital offers nursing programs to students.